Alright peeps, won't be making any hilarious jokes just yet. No! I want to talk about Greta Thunberg. There's a fair few memes flying around the internet sending up the death stare she gave Donald Trump at the UN's Climate Action Summit. For those of you who don't know, Greta Thunberg is a Swedish climate activist who has risen to prominence over the past year for advocating drastic action to reverse the harmful effects of climate change. She's taken herself out of school to travel the world, not by plane I might add, speaking to audiences of all ages and backgrounds who are inspired by her unwavering resolve in the face of governments and superpowers who are not pulling their weight when it comes to the environment. Oh, and by the way, she's 16 and autistic, as well as describing herself as one of the lucky ones who is able to take time out in order to pursue this crusade. She refers to her mental disability as somewhat of a superpower, enabling her to focus diligently on the mammoth task she has taken upon. She now has over 7 million followers on Instagram. She's constantly in the news, on the cover of magazines, and shared virally every week on social media. But at the heart of it, she is simply a passionate, intelligent young person who is asking those who have the power to do something about our burning climate to actually do something about it. And yet, what do we get in response?
There's something I felt very uncomfortable watching yesterday. It was all a little melodramatic.
The climate hysteria movement is not about science. If it were about science, it would be led by scientists rather than by politicians and a mentally ill Swedish child.
Somebody needs to read poor Greta Genesis chapter 9 and tell her next time she worries about global warming, just look at a rainbow. That's God's promise that the polar ice caps aren't going to melt and flood the world again.
White, privileged, middle-aged men have crawled out of their asshole caves to poke fun, berate and insult Greta for standing up for the planet through peaceful protest. Men everywhere have felt it necessary to belittle, patronise and condemn a young girl. Breitbart contributor John Nolte eloquently tweeted, "I can't tell if Greta needs a spanking or a psychological intervention." Human Toilet Jeremy Clarkson brands Greta a spoiled brat and tells her to go back to school. A comment which prompted criticism from Clarkson's own daughter. And Daily Wire contributor Michael Knowles on Fox News argued she shouldn't be taken seriously because she is mentally ill. She has autism. She has obsessive compulsive disorder. She has selective mutism. She had depression. Wow. And in response to all this, well, I couldn't have put it better than Greta myself.
How dare you?
That's right. How dare you? How dare you? Where the do you get off? Making fun of an autistic 16-year-old girl? For asking for your help? I ain't joking about this, you pathetic losers. You who have all the money, all the power. You can do whatever the you want, can't you? And what do you choose to do? Make sick, degrading comments towards an innocent girl who has put her life on the line to raise awareness of an issue that's affecting all of us. She's just a child. What kind of triggering bullshit is going on in your head to make you think that treating someone like this is okay? And for all those saying that she's simply reading off a script that her handlers have given her, watch this.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
That's her up there, on stage, alone, in front of the entire world. And if for some reason you're not able to remove your head from your arse to see that, well, are you actually listening to what she's saying? Because she's not the only one saying it. This is not some far-flung, crazy theory. Climate change is some scary ass proven by science. It's already destroying lives all over the globe. Our rainforests are burning and this shit is to blame. Climate inaction from powerful men who think they know better. But this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Pick up, you bastards!
I said no jokes! It isn't just about Greta. It's about how powerful white men believe they have the right to treat women like dirt. And the President of the United States of America stands as a shining example of this.
Grab him by the pussy. I can do anything.
Oh, and speaking of racist, misogynistic dimwits, who is somehow now our Prime Minister. The man who described gay people as bumboys, called black people pickaninnies with watermelon smiles, and was sacked twice for dishonesty. Oh, and lied to the Queen to suspend democracy at the same time as proclaiming how important democracy is.
We can take back control.
Out of almost 70 million people in the UK, seriously, is this the best we can do? And the claims of Johnson's historic infidelity have been cranked up to 11 recently, with the allegation that he inappropriately grabbed a junior journalist. In fact, one of the only women speaking out in favour of Boris Johnson, Katie Hopkins, tweeted, "If Boris had squeezed my upper thigh 20 years ago, I still wouldn't have showered. Better to be grabbed by the pussy than have a pussy as Prime Minister." What? That's not real. She didn't really say that. Also, I love the People's Prime Minister hashtag. Like now it's apparently the will of the people to get thigh caressed against your will. 17 million of us voted to get thigh caressed against our will. Because sexual assault is cool. Not enough? Get a load of this!
The best way to honour the memory of Joe Cox would be, I think, to get Brexit done.
The Prime Minister actually said that the best way to honour the memory of a woman assassinated by far-right radicalisation as a result of Brexit is to make Brexit happen. This has got to be one of the most heartless, nonsensical, disgusting things I've ever heard spewed out of Boris Johnson's mouth. And there are a lot of contenders in that category.
They've got a brilliant vision to turn CERT into the next, with the help of the municipality of CERT, to turn it into the next Dubai. The only thing they've got to do is clear the dead bodies.
Most alarming is Johnson's advisor and general head Dominic Cummings, warning MPs that if they don't want to get any death threats, they should vote for Brexit. Let me ask you something. What bit of any of this is okay? It's terrifying! Much like the boiling frog fable, we are becoming so desensitized to hate and fear-induced violence that political assassinations are no longer a shock to us. You'd think that in these desperate times that those with the ability to actually make positive change would have something better to do than take pot shots at a child for asking us not to set the planet on fire. But thankfully, it's not just Greta. Young people all over the world are speaking out against the misuse of power by men at the top. And at least some influential figures are backing Greta and recognising the value of her stance, advocating her status as a modern leader for the hope of young people. And although these small-membered, privileged, white, middle-aged men can attack Greta personally, they don't actually seem to be trying to thwart her message. And as Greta puts it, when haters go after your looks and differences, it means they have nowhere left to go. And then you know you're winning. And although it doesn't exactly feel like winning when silver spoon-fed man babies are running the world, inspirational, outspoken young people like Greta Thunberg are gaining increasing support from the millions across the globe, hoping for radical, positive change. Though Han Solo got one thing slightly wrong in his speech.
And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
No, we shouldn't be getting the hell out of their way. We should be joining them. Oh, and Boris, you can go get
I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills.
He has the personality and the pizzazz to get Brexit over the line, doesn't he? Yes, he does.
I built things for you. I looked after your children. I looked after the elderly in this country. Now you kick me out with what?